Early this year, this Machenike S17 with watercooling set caught my attention. Finally, I decided to make this video, because its thermals are so powerful. It can reach 86 plus 150 watts with watercooling, and noise at 47 decibels. How does this S17 actually perform? Is it the surprise of the year? Or it just merely a fuss? I'm sure you'll find the answer in this video. Specs: i7-12700H processor, 14 cores 20 threads. RTX 3070 Ti GPU, max power 150 watts, supports mux switch. 216GB RAMs, dual channel, DDR5 to 4800 MHz. 512GB PM9A1 SSD. 17.3-inch screen, 2560 by 1440 resolution. 100% sRGB color gamut IPS screen, 240 Hz refresh rate. Reference price $2,200. This price for a 3070Ti gaming laptop is a little bit overpriced. But if it's Alienware or ROG with same specs, the price may double. Exterior: lid is half wire drawing and half frosted, divided by a diagonal line. Hinge is a long bar in the middle. The design of the hinge is very clever. Bottom bezel looks narrower. Screen body ratio increased visually. I like this keyboard layout with full height arrow keys. The only flaw is numpad is incomplete. Users who prefer the right enter may need to adjust to it. Touchpad is very large. To avoid misoperation, double tapping the button in top right corner can turn off the right half of touchpad, which is a very clever design. Alright, let's put aside this laptop, and move on to this watercooling set. It's the size of a palm, which contains radiator, fan, tank and pump. Connect two pipes to the set by threaded quick joint. The other side is the push and pull buckle. Plug it into the watercooling port. After a click, the docking is completed. Then fill distilled water into water tank. Plug the adapter in the back of the tank. Then connect the power cable to laptop. Finally, press the power buttons of the set and laptop. The whole system is now mounted. At the first startup, if Bluetooth is on, they will connect automatically. And you need to click Add Water in Control Center to let the coolant run one loop before use. I have a question then. Water runs from tank, through pump then to the laptop. How does the cooling work? Let's get inside to find out the answer. Machenike S17 uses Tongfang chassis, with brand customization on exterior. Remove all screws on the bottom to open it. Wow, the inside looks very familiar. Thermals module at top, looks very sophisticated. It actually consists of dual fans, 6 heat pipes, and a watercooling pipe, combined like an interchange. CPU power supply and VRAM are covered with copper sheets. GPU power supply has one more heat pipe. After connected to water pipe, CPU and GPU's heat are taken away by the pipe. Hot water enters radiator to cool down, back to laptop as cold water. With the set, air and water can work at the same time. Without the set, it can work like normal laptop. That's dual cooling modes for one laptop. Since talking about thermals, let's move on to the stress test. Watercooling mode. FPU stress test for 30 minutes. CPU was at 94 degrees. Package power 108.9 watts. IA power 107.8 watts. In GPU stress test, its GPU was at 59.3 degrees, 150 watts. Dual stress test for 30 minutes. CPU was at 86 degrees. Package power 85 watts. GPU, 56.9 degrees, 150 watts. Honestly, it's insane. This watercooling S17 has impressive CPU performance. Nearly the same level with liquid metal. If without thermal threshold, it might reach full clock speed of i7-12700H. Besides, watercooling is very effective. GPU power sustained at 150 watts, and not even reached 60 degrees. Besides performance, the other advantage is running quietly. This is the noise of stress test with air cooling only. This is with watercooling set. Furthermore, it has silent mode. S17's noise was at 55, 47, 42 decibels. Watercooling is a powerful thermals method, and it also reduces the noise under heavy load. As for surface temperature, hottest keycap Y was at 41.3 degrees. Although there is a large hot area in middle, the keycap's heat insulation is very good. Besides water cooling, it can run with air cooling only. The detailed test data is on screen for your information. In conclusion, this S17 has powerful thermals. This GM7AG7M chassis is evolved from GM7MG0M. We used to test several models like Mecrivo X10 Pro. Even without water cooling, this chassis already has good thermals. With water cooling, core temperature dropped greatly, and it runs as quiet as an Ultrabook. The two pain points, heat and noise, are solved. Alright, let's get back to inside. Battery at bottom, 62 watt-hours. As the set must go with external power, this battery is only useful for air cooling. Memory slots, 2 stock 16 GB, Samsung DDR5, 4800 MHz. About RAM, there are many options in BIOS. You can set timings, clock speed, mode and so on. It's highly customizable. SSD is close to RAM. 2 stock 512 GB PM9A1, PCIe 4.0x4. Let's move on to the test. Screen first. A2K, 16:9, 240 Hz screen. Panel is from BO. Tested color volume was 102.3% sRGB. Color coverage 96.7%. In sRGB standard, average delta E was 1.34, max 2.74. Tested max brightness 376 nits. Black to white response time 9.9 milliseconds. Gray to gray 13 milliseconds. After screen, let's check its performance. All the following tests were done in watercooling mode, with Ultra Performance preset. Default fan setting, MUX switch on. This laptop has an i7-12700H CPU. In Cinebench R20, it scored between 7000-7100. During benchmark, power was around 115 watts with little fluctuation. Compared with ROG Strix Scar 6, you can see, although they have similar power, i9 has better power performance ratio, which has higher clock speed with similar temperature and less power. Of course, the i7 of S17 has good performance too, because it has very low on-core power. Normally less than 1 watt, only 2 watts when gaming, lower than most laptops we tested. This makes i7 final power performance ratio close to i9. Before that, most of 12 general gaming laptops can't do that. In other performance tests, S17 nearly release all the power of this i7-12700H. Next is GPU. We have tested RTX 3070 Ti before, which barely improved compared to 3070. However, S17 scored 11,764 in Time Spy, 14,844 in FSE. There could be two reasons. One is, with water cooling, the temperature is lower under heavy load, so the clock speed is higher, therefore the result is better. The other is, S17 allowed GPU to run at full CTGP. While in gaming, GPU is not affected by dynamic boost, clock speed is more stable, frame rate will boost too. In 3A games, as for Tomb Raider, Metro, 2077, and Far Cry 6, S17 had better performance than ROG Strix Scar 6. However, even with lower temperature and stable GPU, there is still a gap between i7 and i9. And we also tested some new games, like God of War that just released on Steam. S17 reached 72.9 FPS. This frame rate is totally acceptable. The other new game is Dying Light 2. This is a first-person sandbox parkour and zombie game. Its predecessor received good reviews with good quality, but development stuck last 2 years. The game kept postponing. Reminds me of another Poland company. You know what I mean. Anyway, the game still got good reviews after release. We chose the prologue as test material. S17 reached 64.1 frames at highest setting. Honestly, the game graphics are just average, but it does require very good specs. The optimization is barely satisfactory. After all, it's first person. If you are sensitive about frame rate, you can turn on DLSS. Okay, let's move on to high frame rate online games. We used a new test material for Dota 2, which included heroes with dazzling visual effects. It was a challenge to CPU, RAM and GPU. S17 reached 207 FPS with 2K. The frame rate is even higher at 1080p. However, in CSGO, both 2K, 1080p or less than ROG Strix Scar 6. The two have similar results in Apex Legends. Because Apex Legends has a 300 FPS cap, can't be turned off. Some of you may ask, the result is good with water cooling. What's the result with air cooling only? We did some tests too. The results are as expected. FPS dropped a little for each game. But it's not too much. After games, let's get to content creation. Adobe software. Latest A scored 1029, but PR scored 1120, 150 higher than ROG Strix Scar 6. Very good result. To sum up, S17 has very impressive performance. With water cooling, the overall game frame rate is higher than air cooling only. It seems CPU is specially optimized. On-core power usage is not too high, which is beyond expectation. I believe now you have an understanding of Machenike S17. As usual, we concluded 3 pros and cons for you. Here are pros. First, powerful thermals performance with water cooling set. As result shows, S17's water cooling set is awesome. Compared with air cooling with 47 plus 150 watts, limited clock speed and nearly 55 decibels noise, it reached 86 plus 150 watts with water cooling set. Let alone P-Core runs at full speed, and only at 47 decibels. Second, useful control center supports RAM overclocking. Machenike S17's control center have many functions, where you can optimize CTGP, fan speed and so on. The RAM overclocking function on Last General is also available here in BIOS. If you like customization, then it has a lot to offer. Third, excellent 2K 240Hz screen. I didn't expect besides ROG Strix Scar 6 and Razer, even Machenike is using a 2K 240Hz screen. Whether it's daily use or gaming, this screen has very good performance. So much about pros, let's talk about cons. First, adapter's power is not enough in water cooling mode. As mentioned, it can run at 85 plus 150 watts, which is a challenge to adapter. S17 comes with a 280 watts adapter. It has to supply water cooling and laptop, which leads to insufficient power of adapter during dual stress test. Second, CPU thermal threshold is low in air cooling mode. In air cooling mode, once GPU is involved, CPU threshold will reduce to 85 degrees. If turn off GPU load for a while or reboot, then CPU threshold will back to 95 degrees. I think this limit is unnecessary. I presume it's a bug, hope it will be fixed soon. Third, water cooling module design is unreasonable. We encountered some issues. Like, insensitive power button. Unreasonable water inlet with no injection tool in package. It's inconvenient to add or pour out water. The adapter that connects to laptop has valve, but laptop doesn't. Although this kind of water cooling set has great performance, the design needs to be improved. Maybe it's an engineering sample. Current software is not finished yet. Pumping speed is unchangeable. Radiator fan speed only has 3 levels. Customization not supported. These remain to be fixed. Last, let's answer the question I asked before. Is it a surprise or a fuss? As for performance, S17 is far beyond our expectation. Temperature is lower, performance is enhanced, and noise is kept low. That said, gaming laptops are bad at portability, let alone one with big 17.3-inch screen and water cooling set. So if you need portability, you need to think twice. As for positioning, water cooling gaming laptop aims for extreme performance, but not portability. It's a niche product, with starting price at $2,000. Product like this is hard to be mainstream. If you have high demand for gaming performance, if you are good at optimization, this S17 will be a good choice. But if you want stable gaming experience, and have no interest in maintenance, then traditional gaming laptops may be your type. Whatever, this is a leap of faith of water cooling laptop, after ROG GX 800. Okay, that's all for this video. If you enjoy this video, please hit like and subscribe. This is BIBA Review Studio, I'm Jawan. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.